Hello and welcome to this episode of the Energy Connects podcast in the run up to India Energy Week in Goa next month. I am your host, Chiranjib Sengupta, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Dr. Ranjit Rath, Chairman and Managing Director of Oil India. Dr. Rath, it's such a pleasure to have you with us. And to start off, could you please tell us more about Oil India and how it has contributed to the growth of the Indian energy sector?
First of all, Chiranjeev, a warm afternoon to you and your entire team who is doing this fabulous job of creating a connect between the leadership and then our August viewers who are going to participate in IEW 2024. We had an excellent IEW 2023 and we are actually looking forward to with high hopes and expectation to IEW 2024. And given this background, we strongly believe that these connects will help us to reach out to our possible collaborators, to our possible stakeholders, and to our possible audiences who would watch or participate in IEW 2024. Answering your question, see, Oil India Limited is the oldest E&P company of this part of the globe, not only in India. To date back, it was 1889, the first discovery of hydrocarbon happened in upper northeastern part of the Assam, in a place called Digboi, where by virtue of laying the railway line, it was discovered. And then the first well was drilled, and then they say rest is history. So with a legacy of 1889, then followed by 1953, post-independence, the first discovery happened in a place called Naharkatia, which is also in Upper Assam, followed by 1956 in a place called Muran in Upper Assam. So that's the legacy of Oil India Limited. Today, we do about 3 million metric ton of crude oil production. We do about 3 BCM of natural gas production. We cater to all the refineries which is located in northeastern part of the country, say Digboi refinery, Numaligarh refinery, Guwahati refinery, in terms of crude oil supply, and also in terms of natural gas. We supply to Numaligarh refinery, we supply to the power plants in northeastern part of the country, we supply to the Brahmaputra cracker and polymer unit where polypropylene is produced. We also supply crude oil, natural gas to Brahmaputra Valley Fertilizer Limited. That's the fertilizer company. We also supply to the tea gardens of Upper Assam, where the tea gardens use this natural gas as their fuel. To me, Oil India Limited, being a national oil company, which has been recently bestowed or granted the status of Maharatna during August 2023, plays a crucial role in terms of ensuring energy security of the country. By virtue of creating production from its mature fields and adding more accretion of reserves. And as we speak, we carry about 60,000 square kilometer of exploration acres with us and about 5,000 square kilometer of mining lease with us. So that is Oil India Limited. And this is our contribution to the Indian energy sector. In addition, we also have our major subsidiary, which is Numaligarh Refinery Limited. Today, it is a 3 million metric ton of refinery, which produces majorly LPG, motor spirit, that is petrol, and high-speed diesel, that is diesel, which caters not only to the northeastern market, it also caters to the eastern market of India. And by virtue of a dedicated pipeline called Indo-Bangladesh Friendship Pipeline and through railway rake, we also supply our product to Bangladesh. And that's also under the focus of Government of India's Look East policy. So overall, Oil India Limited, along with its subsidiaries, plays a seat anchor's role under the Hydrocarbon Vision for North India 2030.
Right. And that mirrors a lot of the progress that has also happened in the Indian energy sector of late. And could you share some of the highlights of your future growth plans and partnerships that you're looking forward to?
When I say future growth plan, I would highlight two, three things. One, we have already created a strategy roadmap for us up to 2030 and 2040. Having secured the Maharatna status, the dynamics or the empowerment of the board allows us to go for technology-driven collaborations with international oil companies, and that is what is our focus right now. In addition, I must tell you that we have about 10 such assets overseas spanning in 7 countries globally. And we are also looking at future collaborations, not only Oil India venturing outside, but also collaborations where we would invite the national oil companies of the world or independent oil companies or international oil companies of the world to have India as a destination for exploration and production. I must narrate here that the flagship reform of Government of India, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, has created an enabler of unlocking about 1 million square kilometer of area in the offshore of East Coast and West Coast of India, the exclusive economic zone, and also the Andaman Nicobar Basin. With this, what has happened by virtue of the OLP open acreage licensing program, by virtue of the OLP rounds, we have got access to 2 blocks in Andaman Nicobar that we have got acreages with us, and 1 block in Kerala Konkan Basin. So as we speak, we have identified prospects and we are looking for collaborations to pursue those exploration efforts. In addition, we are also looking for collaboration in terms of our future bidding participation in OLP 9 and OLP 10, which will be primarily the deep and ultra deep water exploration efforts. This besides, we are also looking at technological studies where we are engaging with international consultancy organizations to enhance our potential in terms of exploration, success, and production efforts in the main producing area that is in Northeast, which is primarily the upper part of, or they call Upper Assam and Arunachal Pradesh and Tripura. And also we have our assets in Rajasthan, that is Jaisalmer Basin in the northwestern part of the country. We also have exploratory assets about 15,000 square kilometer in the onshore Mahanadi Basin, and we have a small DSF block in the KG offshore. So as we speak, while our strategy is to enhance our exploration coverage and expedite our production, we are also looking forward to, through a concerted strategy, to discover hydrocarbon in our existing exploration acreage. That's the upstream part of it. As far as the midstream segment is concerned, we are the oldest pipeliner in the country, and we run a crude oil pipeline from upper part of the northeast Assam to Siliguri, and we also have a product pipeline which is from Numaligarh to Siliguri. As we speak, we also own some natural gas pipelines in our infield areas, and this besides, the Numaligarh refinery is being currently undertaken a refinery capacity expansion from 3 million ton to 9 million ton, for which we are also creating or building a pipeline, crude oil line rather, from Paradip to Numaligarh refinery, which is about 1640 kilometers. And as part of the refinery expansion, we are also planning for a polypropylene unit in Numaligarh. So that's the broad outline of our efforts in terms of our future strategy.
Right. That's really interesting to hear, Dr. Rath. And as one of the country's leading geoscientists, how do you view the Indian and the global energy markets in 2024? And also, I wanted to understand that how is Oil India contributing to the energy transition growth that's happening in India?
The geoscientist in me is very optimistic about the ENP potential of the country. As I have just told, we have one of the best regime in terms of exploration possibilities and in terms of yet to find resources, because exploration has not happened yet in the deep and ultra deep waters of India, where we could say that the offshore Mahanadi, offshore Bengal Basin, offshore KG Basin, though there has been discoveries and production, but future potentials exist, offshore Kaveri Basin, and the offshore of Andaman Nicobar. So, from an exploration point of view, this offers opportunity. And as a national oil company, while we are exploring the possibility of offering our bids or offering our expression of interest, we are seeking collaboration from the international oil companies who has got excellent track records in terms of their offshore exploration efforts and successful efforts at that. That is as part of the ENP narrative of the country. And globally, we strongly believe that the hydrocarbon fossil fuel would coexist for substantial period of time with the alternative energy narrative that has been already taken impetus. So we would continue to focus on doing exploration and production and concurrently create a portfolio of alternative energy, which would include renewables, green hydrogen, and more specifically, I must tell you that as a ENP company, we understand the narrative of net zero, which is part of our operations. So if we need to do gas monetization, and which ultimately leads to zero flaring, that is our net zero effort. Since we understand the subsurface by virtue of our exploration and production efforts, we plan to develop that know-how into utilizing that know-how into developing the carbon sequestration possibility, which will help us in creating or meeting our net zero target by creating an offset of CO2. So to me, it is one of the most brightest spot in the globe today, India, in terms of the energy landscape. And globally, you would notice the exploration effort continues to be pursued with the same vigor with the energy hungry nation, either from a consumption point of view or from a demand center point of view. So the producers will continue to produce and to ensure that the efforts towards exploration will continue.
That's an excellent point. And talking a bit about India Energy Week, last year we saw an overwhelming response to the inaugural edition. And how important and how significant is it for Oil India to be at India Energy Week? And what are you looking forward to highlight and showcase this year?
It's like this. We strongly believe that India Energy Week as a platform has got an immense value addition to the business portfolio that we hold. A, to showcase what we have done, to showcase what it takes to discover hydrocarbon, to showcase the technological advancements that we have adopted for the purpose of enhanced oil recovery that we are practicing, to showcase the excellent reservoir management through workover or through hydrofrac or through adoption of technologies that we pursue to extract hydrocarbon from the mature and old fields in the Upper Assam, to showcase our dedicated effort to explore more deeper horizons through our near surface and missed opportunity, and through our new prospective areas, we would like to showcase them. Now, what is the benefit of this? There are two prongs. Given the fact that we are looking at collaboration opportunities, so this would actually kind of create a narrative where a IOC or a national oil company will find complementary strength in coming to India and collaborate with Oil India. That is one piece. The second piece is the kind of data that we have, whether it is vintage data or the data that is being acquired today or the data that has been procured from DGH. We are going to carry or having a kind of interactive session with all the participating entities who are possibly exploring the feasibility of their next destination of exploration as India. The third piece is we also want to convey to the stakeholders of ours that while we are very, very focused in terms of pursuing our exploration and production efforts to produce natural gas and crude oil, we are also very keen to participate with our stakeholders or collaborators to pursue the alternative energy portfolio. Two things I would like to tell as a subsidiary to this. One, the natural gas would act as a bridge fuel between the crude oil and then the alternative energy portfolio that we are looking at or we are talking about for, let's say, another 2 to 3 decades. And as Honorable Prime Minister's clarion call that natural gas as a major input in the primary energy mix, which is currently hovering at about 6.5%, to take it to 15% by 2030. So we need to have more discovery, and more discovery would happen through more exploration. That's one piece. The second piece is we are also pursuing the clarion call of import substitution, which includes, or one of the flagship initiative includes manufacturing 2G ethanol, which will be blended in petrol. And the target is to ensure 20% blending in petrol, for which we need 2G ethanol. And I must share through you with our august audience or listeners that the Numaligarh Refinery Limited, which is a subsidiary of Oil India Limited, we have created a company or an entity called Assam Biorefineries Limited, which is we are going to commission it in a month or two time, where the feedstock of 2G ethanol is bamboo. And you must know in northeast part of the country, we get plenty of bamboo as a feedstock, number one. Number two, this will be the one of its kind, first of its kind rather, across the globe. Number three, bamboo as a feedstock for 2G ethanol solves the problem of food, fuel and environment trilemma. So these are the two things. Plus, we are also working on several other initiatives in terms of our focused attention to the alternative energy portfolio. And that's also we will highlight as part of our traction. And more importantly, we would also look forward to promote startups. We would also look forward to promote Oil India Limited as a destination for the young millennials as a choice employer.
Right. Those are very interesting points, and I think it perfectly sums up India's very self-reliant as well as collaborative approach to the energy transition. And there's, biofuels is of course, one of the main outlook for growth in the future. And I wanted to understand with such a world-class event like India Energy Week, and of course all the developments and the rapid progress being made within the energy ecosystem in India, how do you see India's role within the global energy industry, and what can it contribute for the future?
With 1.4 or 1.5 billion people, I mean, India would continue to be the force to reckon. In fact, during the last World Economic Forum discourse, which was held in Davos last week, there was a nice discussion happened whether India has seized the opportunity or not in the global economy. And the overall narrative echoed one sentiment that India has already seized the opportunity, and India with its younger generation and the young populace that India today is proud to have, or with the demographic dividend that India offers to the globe, India will continue to seize the opportunity in the global economy. As far as India as a destination for energy is concerned, we would also continue to have refinery as a hub, because we have 7,500 kilometer of coastal line, which offers a very, very vantage position in terms of being in the supply chain, while to the west we have the producing entities and to the east we have the consuming entities. Plus India itself is a consumer. So while India imports crude oil for its energy need or imports natural gas for its energy need, India also exports petroleum products. In addition, while India imports natural gas, India is still a energy hungry country. So our LNG terminal would grow, our LPG plants will grow, our natural gas consumption for our CGD, which is CNG and PNG, will continue to grow. Our refining capacity from a current 250 million metric ton per annum is now planned to be escalated to 340 and 440 million metric ton per annum. That's continued to grow. We would also continue to produce more petrochemicals, because that is the narrative which is being conceived, and as the future holds, that's how the oil and gas value chain will travel. This apart, we would now, India, while did excellent in terms of its global solar alliance, during the last, under the presidency of India, last G20 edition, we have launched something called a Global Biofuel Alliance. And I must tell you, the Global Biofuel Alliance has picked up serious traction amongst the multiple stakeholders, which is currently being steered by India, and with the kind of roadmap that has been already charted out to produce bioethanol or 2G ethanol and 3G ethanol. We are not only going to meet our internal demand, there would also be opportunity for export of ethanol. In a similar manner, the way internationally or globally the joint effort is being pursued to create carbon sequestration hub, we would also have some kind of a hub or individual locations for the possibility of carbon sequestration. Given the fact that we would continue to enhance our production efforts in terms of EOR, in terms of advent of technology, and more importantly, since we have not yet explored the deep water and ultra deep waters in the offshore of India, India would continue to remain as a bright spot for exploration and production efforts. So I am actually looking forward to serious traction, deliberation, discussions with the senior leadership who has all shown interest and keenness to participate in IEW and take the collaboration further.
That's brilliantly put. And I think we are really looking forward to not just a very exciting show in Goa next month, but a very promising future for India and the energy sector. Thank you, Dr. Rath, for taking the time out from your very busy schedule and speaking to us. It was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for your superb insights. Hope to see you in Goa soon.
Definitely, we will meet, Chiranjib. And thank you very much for having me today. And I must tell you, the questions or the queries that you have raised, I hope I have been able to offer enough insights. And we will continue to discuss on the sidelines in IEW 2024. See you then.
Thanks for listening, and we will be back with more Energy Connects podcast as well as studio interviews from the India Energy Week taking place in Goa from the 6th till the 9th of February 2024. Until then, goodbye.